It's a beautiful year in the beginning of the year 2020. Hope you're enjoying the year so far. Let me say a very big thank you for joining us on the very first edition of the Eagle for this year 2021. Now, on this program, which comes from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, we highlight economic and financial crimes, the dangers that they pose to the society, and how we can fight the menace together. We're still in the series reviewing activities of the Commission in 2020. If you missed some of the editions of the Eagle in the year under review, don't worry, we'll bring some of them to you today, so stay tuned. My name is Martha Eche. Glad to be here with you again.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
It's the Eagle. Now let's begin the review today with the edition titled Pipeline Vandalism, where the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Deputy Commandant Emmanuel Oke, stressed on pipeline vandalism as a crime against humanity.
1. When we talk of economic development of Nigeria, vandalism has contributed to, in a disadvantaged area, that most of the vandalized pipes, 1, the money government is even supposed to use for the development of the society is being channeled to repairing of those vandalized pipes. 2, it affects the economic growth of the nation, because most of the product being vandalized are products that, if allowed to be genuinely refined and sell out by government, the turnover, the money from there would have been plugged into another developmental aspect, and it affects the GDP of the nation. So when we talk of vandalism have a lot of diverse effects on the economy. That is why today we keep advocating, we keep creating awareness that vandalism is not the best way. Turn away from vandalism, and let's make sure that the money that government is even supposed to use in developing other sectors is being used for that, and not to be deployed back into repairing of vandalized items.
Now, pipeline vandalism is an economic crime that saps a country of its strength, especially a country like Nigeria that depends a lot on oil. What then is the true state of pipeline vandalism in Nigeria? Nwanyima Ukeanu gives us insight in this talk.
The importance of oil to the Nigerian economy cannot be overemphasized. For some time now, oil has been Nigeria's most important source of income. It has brought modernism to many societies. It supplies power to industries, makes homes comfortable, and provides fuel for vehicles and airplanes. It makes farming easier and enhances infrastructural and chemical development. It can be applied in practically every aspect of life. It is very vital in meeting the daily needs of people. Oil was the backbone of Nigeria's economy, the sole source of income until recently, when government started talking about diversification. For easy transportation of the finished product, the government laid pipes all across the country. Pipeline vandalism refers to the deliberate act of causing damage to oil pipelines for political or economic reasons. Some criminals engage in vandalism of oil pipelines in order to steal crude oil or revolt against the government of the day. There is, however, no justifiable reason for breaking Nigeria's pipelines, as the damage is oftentimes detrimental to the comfort and well-being of Nigeria's economy. After the first quarter of this year, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, reported that the vandalism of its pipelines across the country rose by 50% at the beginning of the year. This is alarming, as it spells doom if it continues to grow. Many people wonder why pipeline vandalism is still an issue in Nigeria. While some attribute the cause to poverty and unemployment, others pin it on militancy, rebellion, and politics. No matter the reason, one thing stands out, and that is there is no iota of good in pipeline vandalism. One cannot begin to mention the extent of damage this crime has caused the economy of Nigeria, the immense loss of lives and property, the many times there has been shortage of or lack of oil products in Nigeria. How many times has Nigeria recorded fire outbreaks due to oil spillage resulting from pipeline vandalism? The demon that manifests itself during pipeline vandalism is all-consuming. Though there are security agencies saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding these pipelines, criminals still find a way to perpetrate their nefarious acts. How can government fight this menace? What can the common man do to help protect pipelines that transport oil from one part of the country to another? These are questions begging for answers. And until the answers come, Nigeria may not see the end of pipeline vandalism in the nearest future.
Now, pipeline vandalism is not the only economic and financial crimes that exist in Nigeria. There are so many of them, one of which is terrorism financing. Frank Tietie, the Executive Director, Citizens Advocacy for Social and Economic Rights, CASA, was our guest on the edition, and he spoke extensively on terrorism financing.
Well, it's a new term. It's as a result of the recent developments in the growth of terrorism by elements within and outside a particular country. It has become international in its way. So in Nigeria, we have a very robust law, the Terrorism Act of 2011, now amended in 2013. And it's Section 13 of that law fully defines what amounts to terrorism financing. And it includes persons, groups, or entities who solicit, who gather, who collect, who receive monies for the purpose of advancing the cause of terrorism. And it also includes persons who hold onto money, either legitimately, knowing that such monies are being kept for the purpose of conducting or engaging in terrorism. So terrorism can't be carried out without a well-orchestrated plan, but must be actively and well-funded. So financing terrorism is a major aspect of the terrorism itself. Financing it is recent discoveries showing that it is not enough to criminalize the act of terrorism, but persons within a country or outside a country can actually do more harm by soliciting for money by way of small arms or small contribution, or actually getting involved in legitimate business for the purpose of diverting those profits to financing terrorism across the world. And it happens across this the West African sub-region a lot. You know, terrorism has dealt a huge blow to us in Nigeria because it is the most significant form of insecurity, and it drives away foreign investment. And it's very difficult to prevent, especially because of its intractable nature. We're talking about persons that blend into the usual civil populace, and they try to cause a lot of harm to the people as a means of causing psychological problem for the government, for those who operate the government. So these are not persons who are able to match the government security forces in terms of head-to-head, but when they blend into the usual civil populace and cause harm in terms of collateral damage as a means of communicating a threat to the government, it's something that is very debilitating and devastating indeed to the economy. So persons become unnecessarily afraid, and it increases the costs of doing business by factoring the need to provide additional security in terms of screening of persons that enter business premises, and then the unusual scare that is generated by the fear of terrorism prevents people from venturing into markets that ordinarily they would have wanted to get into, but they are prevented.
Another topic we treated on this program was effects of corruption, where a public affairs analyst and development consultant, Jide Ojo, told us how many people have contributed to the spread of corruption as a cankerworm in Nigeria.
Yeah, if you talk about retail corruption, and that's where you are taking us, retail corruption is pervasive. There is practically no sphere of human endeavor where you don't have retail corruption. And that's, you find common men trying to exploit whoever they engage. Let's take issues around artisans. You engage an artisan to do a work for you. The work is supposed to be for 5,000. He insists on taking 8,000. You give him money to buy genuine materials to fix your, maybe it's a plumbing work, come and fix this leaked pipe drain and all of that. The man goes and buys fake. It's going to be a marathon, particularly dealing with retail corruption, because most people are involved and you can't clamp everybody into detention. And many a time, when you go and report, let's assume that you got in a plumber to fix a leakage for you, and now the guy does substandard work. You take him to the police station. You understand? The police will say, this one small matter, make una go settle. That's what they will likely tell you. That, see, we have more serious issues to deal with. Why should I be bothering about transaction of 10,000, 15,000? I mean, sometimes they are lackadaisical about some of these complaints. They feel that it's too paltry for you to bring.
Now, with the effects of corruption so grave, there is every need to apply solutions that are readily available at hand. Now, there is the widely accepted belief that parents should also champion the fight against economic and financial crimes in the country. This was a foundation upon which Hadiza Patrick Otoro built her views when she focused on the topic Curbing Corruption, Mothers in Focus. Hadiza Patrick Otoro is a family and relationship counselor.
The mother is expected to teach a child how to live right. We leave the religious teachings, the societal living, way to dress, practically everything is left to the mother. And at first, it may seem like we are expecting too much. But if you look at it, really, if you are the one who taught your child the alphabet or to pray, you should include that as part of it. You should include this small teaching of wrong or right into your child. It shouldn't be too much. It should almost seem like you are giving the child a creed of how to live life with people or with the society. You are the first contact. Let's not take it away from that. I know someone who told me years ago when I was counseling a person that the father was an armed robber. And this was like in the 80s. They sought after armed robbers. But virtually everybody in the house grew up to be a pastor. Why? Because the mother was in a very abusive relationship, and the husband had told her, if you leave, I will kill you. And she knew the kind of dealings she was doing. But what she did was she took these children under her wings and taught them a different way from her husband. They never really knew until when their father was eventually arrested at one point, you know, and went to jail, and then they began to realize that this was the kind of... But up until that point, their mother had taught them the right way. They saw the drinking, the smoking, everything, the going-ons, the rough people who came to their home. But their mother made sure that there was a different kind of teaching. It inspired me to think, yes, the society shouldn't be the influence to my child's upbringing. I have the power of influence. You know, there's a great scholar that said, if you give me a child till he's 7, I will make him whatever I want to be for the rest of his life. My last word would be, every mother cannot excuse herself. No mother needs to see this as a campaign for the government or for some NGOs. It's a personal fight. If your child is not going to a good school now, do you want your child to build a better school down the road? You need to challenge your child every day to live better than you are doing or better than the others before him, in the sense that the child should be accountable. We should go back to a place where it's a thing of pride to think that your child came back with extra. This morning I was thinking about it. If you came back from the market, my mother knew that bread was 1 kobo. And she gave you 5 kobo, and you came back with 4.5 kobo, 4.5 kobo. You would trek back to that place and give that person that half kobo. You say, it's the child that gave me change. Where is the mother? Go back and give her that half kobo. And when you go back, that person, she may praise you. Sometimes she will even knock your head for you knowing that, because it was a whole community that did it. So mothers, we are the beginning of a child's journey into financial crime or not. What are you teaching your child? Who are you applauding? Who are you congratulating? Who are you celebrating in your life? Who are the people you hold as mentors and example of great people? Are they perpetrators of these financial crimes, or are they people of integrity that your child will look up to them and say, I would be that? Or you yourself, regardless of where you find yourself, good or bad, the child didn't ask you to get into that relationship.
Now, talking about integrity, one major trait everyone must have to fight corruption is integrity. What then is the level of integrity in Nigeria? President, Hepatitis Zero Nigeria Commission and team leader, 7 Core Values Project, Dr. Mike Omotosho, answered questions in the edition, Integrity, a Panacea to Corruption.
A lot of Nigerians have integrity, so to say, but when it comes to displaying this, then you find out that they may not show it as much as they should. And the irony of integrity is not about what you truly have inside of you, it's about what you're able to do even when nobody is watching. So I think that's an area that needs a lot of improvement. You find a lot of Nigerians who will not obey traffic lights here, who will probably eat or drink pure water and throw it down the window of their car. But when they travel abroad, they won't do that. They dare not do that. You will see them actually obey the law. They will stand in queue. They will do the things that they're supposed to do. Now, that itself is not integrity. That's probably because they're afraid of breaking the law. But what I'm saying is a situation where you will gladly do those things, even without the fear of breaking the law. That's the beauty of it, knowing that these are the right things to be done, and you're doing them even without anybody watching, even without the fear of being caught. So yes, there's a whole lot of room for improvement, but sure, we do have a few people who are trustworthy. We have a lot of Nigerians that have integrity, but it's not about the few Nigerians that have integrity, it's about the generality, so that they can describe Nigerians as a group of people who have integrity. The same way they will describe Nigerians as one of the happiest people in the world. So it's not about a few people that are happy, it's about the quantum of people that are happy within the country. So until we get to that system, that stage where a lot of Nigerians truly have integrity, then you can begin to describe the nation as a nation of people with integrity.
Then came October 1, 2020, when Nigeria celebrated our 60th independence anniversary. The issue of corruption was high on the list. So, Executive Secretary, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, Sadiq Isarada, spoke on the matter.
The definition of corruption has been given severally. There are some people who believe you cannot define corruption. You can only describe it. But there are people who feel what you need is a concise definition. Therefore, you can hardly have a very fixed definition of corruption. What you have is a description. And in this regard, you can say corruption is a situation where a government official, a public servant, uses his or her office to his or her advantage and to the detriment of the larger population. So it can be considered as misapplication of resources, embezzlement, mismanagement, waste, graft, bribery, gift that is not within the law, anything that is wrong, so long as you have done it through the use of office for your personal gain, can be classified as corruption. So where things go wrong in the process of conducting your official duties, and you did it simply because you want to drive undue benefit, don't mind the magnitude, don't mind the quantum, don't mind the volume. Corruption is not only when 1 billion naira or 10 billion is stolen. Even where 20 naira is stolen, so long as it is done with the intent of using that office for benefit, is part of corruption. And that is why corruption includes many, many things. Immorality, sexual abuse, sexual violence, rape, many things. In Rwanda, they have expanded the definition of corruption to include anything you do which is wrong, so long as you are a public official. In other words, definitions are now being expanded to cover anything that a public official does that will affect the lives of other people who are being governed. The essence of expansion in the definition is to make sure that we give the general population a protection, because it has been realized that once you block this aspect of the definition of corruption, people go into that. So whatever you do that is wrong, using your public office for personal gain and is detrimental to other people in the society, is corruption.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The year 2020 was a very fulfilling one for the Eagle, your anti-corruption program on TV, and of course the crew. Yes, it's true that COVID-19 tried to slow things down for us, but the Eagle stood tall and strong. We're not able to bring you all of our editions today. In fact, we can't bring all of them to you, not in one edition, not in two, not even in 3 editions of the program. But I can assure you that if you follow us to the letter this year, you will have a lot to learn about your power to save Nigeria from the shackles of corruption. May the year 2021 see all Nigerians working together as one to bring corruption to its knees, you and I can make it happen. Thank you for staying with us on this edition of the program, The Eagle. Same time, same station is another appointment. We'll be here again next week. The Eagle will be here. Now, you can send us your email on theeagle@efccnigeria.org, theeagle@efccnigeria.org, and on all our social media platforms, it's at official EFCC. If you have petitions, please don't hesitate to send them to info@efccnigeria.org. Or personal visits to any of our offices in the 14 zones across the country or the corporate headquarters in Abuja will do a lot of good. I remain yours sincerely, Martha Eche, wishing you a happy and prosperous new year. God bless you. God bless the EFCC. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.